This episode is being brought to you by Game Toppers. If you were at Gen Con, you saw Game Topper products all over the vendor floor. It's an amazing product, and if you want to find out more, go to GameToppersLLC.com.
Hey y'all, it's time for another episode of Rolling Dice and Taking Names. This episode is brought to you by Gen Con 2019, where it was recorded with Marty and Tony. The guys bring on lots of guests to talk about the con and all the games they saw, plus a very special interview with Stefan Feld. Hey Marty, didn't you want me to talk about the strike tournament?
No.
Welcome to episode number 178. This is Rolling Dice and Taking Names, waiting on a friend. I'm Tony.
I'm Marty.
And we are ready for Gen Con. We have arrived in Indy. Well, Marty arrived yesterday, and I got here on Wednesday. Had to take care of my daughter's birthday on Tuesday. But did you have a good time while I was gone?
I did. I got to go and hang out a little bit over the Man vs. Meeple Studios with Eric Lang and got to see something that he'll be announcing later this Friday. So make sure to, well, it's already been announced by the time you hear this, but you'll get to hear more about it because I don't really know much about it either. And then, this morning, well, before we move on any further, because there was our roommate is here.
Our roommate?
So we're bothering him. It's like, well, since you're staying with us this year, guess what? You get to record on the show. And so welcome to the show, Joel Eddy from Drive Thru Review.
Hello, thanks you for having me.
Well, you had to because you're sharing a space with us, and it's kind of a requirement.
To get some sleep, but I figured I'd stay up and be on the show.
That's kind of how it goes.
Well, Rodney warned you, man. You needed to say, he says, like, go to bed early and they can't bother you. But if you're still awake when they come in, they're going to make you record.
He did. I didn't listen.
Who does listen to Mr. Smith?
Nobody.
But Joel and I got here last night, and then this morning he and I headed over to the hall where everybody's setting up. So it doesn't officially open until Thursday, and Joel and I were on our knees putting down foam padding on the floor for the BGG booth.
Yes, we were. Yeah, and it was actually more difficult than it seemed because you had to sort of arrange these. It was like playing a little game of Tetris or something.
It was.
Because you had to peel the little edges off and then twist them and turn them and then go find the right edge, and there was like one in every 10 edges. It was a lot of fun.
So wait a minute. So normally when in Wednesday, you and I went over to Ignacio's booth and I was putting down the phone. Oh, that's right. You didn't show up until all that was done. So anyway,
it's true.
So did y'all have a difficult time with? I mean, with Ignacio's, it was just put them in and hammer them.
Well, that's not the point. Around the edges of Ignacio's booth, does he have the little jagged parts?
Yeah.
Okay, that's not what they wanted in the BGG booth because there's a little strip that you can peel off the edge. It's a straight edge.
Yeah, he has that, but we didn't put them on.
Well, we put them all back in so that the edge of the booth had this nice straight edge as opposed to the zigzags.
Yeah, that's a safety hazard. You don't want people tripping on that.
Well, when the red carpets are going to get rolled out by the people that are setting up the show, it's supposed to cover that up. That's the purpose of the blue line. Come up to the blue line and we'll get the carpet on it.
They do it differently at BGG. That's all I know.
It's a whole new thing at BGG.
But did they appreciate you coming there?
I believe so, yeah.
They did.
Yeah.
Okay. Well, the noise you're hearing, of course, is the fact that we're down in the hot room and there's a lot of talking going on and things like that. But that's all right. Not a problem.
And so which means we may be interrupted every so often. Like, for example, we're over here recording, and Jamie's already in town because it's Wednesday night.
Well, I just walked in here, and I was kind of trying to creep up behind Mr. McCree here, and I was going to scare the crap out of him, but somehow you noticed.
It's that sense. It's that Jamie sense. He's here. I can feel the presence because the man it's all charisma.
He oozes something.
Did you say sense or scent? Do I give off a scent?
No, it's the scent. It's like The Rock, brother. It's like The Rock. There's nothing but charisma in this room when Jamie from the Secret Cabal comes around.
Is that The Rock or Hulk Hogan?
Yes, I do.
Did you have a good trip in, man?
Absolutely. Gen Con is fantastic. It's very tiring. It's exhausting, but I love it. It's so much fun to be here.
Well, hopefully you can join us again some later time and tell us all about your adventures before you head back out later this week.
Well, maybe I will, if I'm not sleeping.
I just know there will be one night he won't be here because it's on Saturday night, and he probably won't be able to talk that much later on that night.
Yeah, I'll probably have quite a few in me.
Yeah, because that is their big Secret Cabal meetup event, which is always a big deal. And I bet there's going to be a good turnout this year.
Thank you for dropping by, Jamie. We always love having you on the show. Wait a minute, is this the first time he's been on the show?
I've been on the Squirrelies.
That's
That's true. Yeah, that's right.
and the 100 show. You know.
No, that's right. You were a
up.
panel on
That's
that.
right, yeah.
Well, before that interruption, we were talking about getting the booth set up and everything, and they got all the booth set up. And there's all these really cool games setting out, but even though it doesn't officially start till tomorrow, Joel and I tonight got to go to the Fantasy Flight in-flight report.
Yes, we did.
And got to see all the cool stuff they announced. Now, 75% of it was probably X-Wing based stuff.
Yeah, something Star Wars. Yeah, 75% it definitely was Star Wars, and a little bit of Keyforge in there.
A little bit of Keyforge, really.
Yeah, there was a little Keyforge, but there was some new stuff though. Definitely some new stuff.
And did it start with an A and then has an H for the second, like Arkham Horror? They're coming out with number 4, number 7, number 10.
Yeah, actually, there was an Arkham Horror thing that's coming out. They didn't really talk too much about it specifically at the in-flight report. It's Arkham Horror Final Hour, which is not an expansion or anything. It's its own standalone game. I don't really know much about it right now at this point on Wednesday, but hopefully I get a chance to play it a couple times, before the convention's over.
I wasn't there. I don't know what else was said.
Look at Tony.
I don't know what you're looking at me.
I just thought maybe you wanted to comment on that. I mean, no, you don't care, do you? All right. All right, let's go ahead and get to what the big announcements were there.
Right.
Okay, I would say if you're big into Keyforge, there's 2 brand new factions coming out. And then in the next set, they're going to drop 2 of the existing factions and integrate 2 others with different combinations. But those factions are not going to go away. And I believe it was Sanctum and Mars that were being dropped. And they're going to add in these 2 new ones. So keep an eye out for that new set coming out. But when it came to card games, there was something else that was announced that really kind of came out of the blue. And that is a Marvel LCG.
Yep, and we had a chance to play the demo of it.
Yep.
I forget the fellow who gave us the demo, but he did a good job of it at Fantasy Flight. And you were playing Captain Marvel.
Yes.
And I was playing Spider-Man. And we were playing against Rhino. Mm-hmm. And so it plays a lot like Lord of the Rings or Arkham LCG. You were saying it maybe was a little too close.
I did feel it was too. We'll get into the why in a second,
Yeah.
but I mean, it's basically it's a co-op game right off. I'm surprised. I kind of thought it was going to be a competitive, just because it seems like they're kind of lacking in the competitive space now. There's only 2 competitive games,
Right, for
And they were-
Fantasy Flight, you mean.
Yeah, and they've already got 2 other co-ops. I'm surprised a 3rd co-op's coming in. But regardless, you can only play as 1 character, and you have a set number of cards, which I like. It's like the Star Wars LCG. There was like 15 to 20 cards that you started with and then added stuff in. It's the same way with this.
Right, yeah, so you pick a character, Spider-Man, Captain Marvel, She-Hulk, Iron Man. There were a couple others that were going to be available in the base set. Oh, before we forget, though, the really cool thing about the base set is you just need 1 copy. And a few of us were clapping extra loud at that part. So you don't have to buy 2 base sets like you might have with Lord of the Rings or something.
To have enough copies to be able to build legal decks using every single card.
Right.
Yeah.
You got it all out in the get. But yeah, so you take Spider-Man, She-Hulk, or whatever, and then you say, what aspect would I like for my hero to have? So you got Spider-Man, you can maybe play him aggressively, or you can add in justice cards or leadership cards. So there's different aspects that you can have. So it makes the deck building very easy. So you were playing Captain Marvel aggression. I was playing Spider-Man justice. And so you just smash those 2 sort of aspects together and away you go.
We talked about some things that are totally different, and that is the fact that there's no resource tokens or anything.
That's right.
When you pay for abilities, you pay with actual cards in your hand.
Mm-hmm.
So if a card says, hey, this costs 3, you got to discard 3 cards in order to basically pay for that ability.
That's right. And I love that because I'm a big multi-use card game person. I like San Juan, Race for the Galaxy, that style of game. So for me, I love having that tough, difficult choice of like, I got this hand of 7, 8 cards or whatever it is. And then which one do I want to use? Well, do I really want to get rid of this? I want to keep this for later. So it's a tough decision. So, yeah.
I mean, Tony, does this have any interest to you?
The interest to me is the theme. Well,
Of
I
course,
guess
yeah.
the IP. I'm sorry, the
Yeah.
IP. But if it's that close, I mean, Lord of the Rings, if it's as close as you're saying or letting on, then maybe why would I invest other than that? I mean, I've got this whole thing of Lord of the Rings cards.
Well, let me tell you where it's close is how you defeat the enemy is by putting tokens on it. And you have to put so many tokens on it to progress the enemy to the next level. I guess, is it damage?
Yeah, you can fight. Yeah, you can fight it and do damage to it. Then you can also do what's called thwarting. and then you pull like threat tokens off of the enemy's scheme.
Yeah, that's it.
Yeah.
Which is kind of like the agenda cards
Right.
in Arkham Horror LCG, like
Right.
adding Doom tokens.
Right.
Except it's in reverse.
Right.
So that's where kind of some of the similarities are at that point.
You know, it's going to be hard to keep me from buying it, especially now that you said that you only have to buy one core.
Right.
So, yeah.
And the expansions are interesting too, is that
Right.
they're going to come out with character decks. So
Okay.
it's just going to be like, say, there's Captain America. Boom, Captain America comes out. You buy it. You can play Captain America. You don't need anything else.
Gotcha.
And then you take those base cards and add in these other extra cards on the side. I can't remember what they're called. Inspiration cards or Inspire cards.
It was something like aspect or
Something
some
like that.
abstract word. Yeah.
But that's what's going to be changing. That you can change over time. So you buy one course, one deck, and you have a brand new character. There's also scenario packs coming out with like a new enemy or something. So, but they're going to come out every month.
Yeah.
As opposed to like every 6 weeks.
just
They've
keep
already
going
said it's going to be a wild ride. But then out of the blue, they announced something that nobody was expecting. They kind of teased it like, well, that's it. The show's over. And it's like, oh no, it's not. Like they called it like a mid-credit scene in a Marvel movie. A brand new Marvel's miniature game. Now, Joel, you play a lot of miniature games. So
do.
what was your first thought on a Marvel miniature game from FFG?
I was excited, just the fact that it was going to exist, because it's not something you see very much of. Is superhero miniatures games. There's DC Batman miniature game from a small company called Night Models, which I haven't played, but the miniatures are nice and it's supposed to be good. That company used to have a Marvel miniature game, but they lost the license a couple of years ago. Maybe this is why. So yeah, it looks, I don't know. I really don't know what to think of this, because for me, like as a miniature painter, one of like pause that I have is if I'm going to paint these, I want them to look exactly like the superhero should. Like if I'm going to paint Daredevil or Spider-Man, I want the perfect red. I don't want a red that's too dark or too bright, because it's just going to look wacky. Whereas something like Warhammer, you can kind of embellish and make up your own thing, and it's no big deal. But for a superhero, it scares me a little bit as a painter. But they didn't really cover too much of the mechanics or anything. It's a lot of like card-driven gameplay, maybe. I don't know. They were pretty, I don't want to say catty about the mechanics, but they just weren't saying a whole lot.
Well, they did get to show us some stuff later that it's going to be a dice-based combat, and it looks like they're going to use some sort of measuring implement like they use some other games like
right.
like Armada. So it's not going to be like you pull out a ruler. It's like this character can move short, this character can move medium, this character can move long. So it's going to make moving and measurement easy. As far as how the actual turn play looks, I'm not sure.
Yeah.
But I think it's already been announced that the starter box is going to be like $100.
Oh,
yeah, and it's going to come with
wow.
terrain, which is pretty neat.
Okay,
It's
the
gonna come with some
terrain's good. Is
buildings,
that okay?
But
buildings
it-
and
it's-
cars, and a fair, about 10 or a dozen models, I think. Maybe
Oh, was
10.
it that many?
Maybe
Okay.
10.
Yeah.
But yeah, so you're going to get a good amount of stuff in the
Okay.
box.
At least I'm not having to click something to move stats around as they take
No.
damage and
No.
stuff
No,
like
no,
that.
not like hero
Okay.
clicks.
No.
Yeah.
Okay.
But I will say this: the parts do come on sprues.
Yep.
You have to build a model, assemble it, and paint it.
Yep.
So if you have now, that's different from Legion. They're coming and painted, but at least they're fully assembled.
Right.
So this is a different aspect for FFG. Even their Rune Wars
Yeah.
were already put together.
Well, no, with Legion and Rune Wars, you got to assemble a little bit.
Oh, okay.
It's not, I wouldn't even call it assembling, because they're all, like there might be an arm you have to attach.
Yeah,
That's it.
But
Yeah.
this one is pieces come on sprues. You
Yeah.
need to snip and
Yep.
file and clean.
Yeah.
So if that's a turnoff to you, well,
Yeah.
you know that's exactly what this game is going to be. It's very much more of a real miniatures game when we think of that like Games Workshop games.
I'm painting.
Yeah, well, I mean what Joel said. You do have to paint.
That's tricky.
I know.
Yeah, with a superhero thing.
Man.
And I agree with Joel. Is I don't want a Spider-Man that looks wrong.
Like mauve.
Yeah,
you know.
exactly.
But no, to your point, that's exactly right. I mean, I can't paint. I do a decent job, but you're absolutely right. The red of Spider-Man, the blue of Spider-Man, the green of the Hulk, and things like that, it's going to be very important. Man, oh, man.
Well,
That's
sorry, Tony.
disappointing.
He's full of a lot of words over here.
I know, it's just, well, it's
Man,
just a
man.
letdown.
Well, if you
know?
can let it go, if you can let it go and be.
You don't have to
No,
paint 'em.
you can't.
I know. That's where I'm at.
And I guess also the terrain it comes with. I've got to paint
Unpainted, correct.
I got to
Yeah.
paint
But
the
it-
brick and the
But
shingles.
but that's easier than
I just spray paint it.
That's easier than trying to paint Iron Man and get his gold and red exact and everything like.
No, he's going to be the what was it? War Machine? Was he just gray?
Yeah, there you go. You could just
Well,
say it's War
he
Machine.
did mention that they were going to have some very specific painting tutorials on the website as well.
Wasn't Fantasy Flight supposed to have their line of paints? Wasn't there something
That's
about
right.
that?
They didn't mention it at this thing, but
They did not. But now I'm wondering, if you want the right red,
they'll
here's
have
the
Spider-Man red
Yeah.
or whatever. Oh, yeah, they didn't mention that.
But
which-
I thought they bought a line of paint, didn't they?
I remember seeing some news article about it
Okay.
a couple of months ago now.
Yeah.
I want to say they were partnering with
It was somebody.
Vallejo or something to get some specific paints for
Was it Legion?
I think so.
So they may do the same thing.
That would be good.
I mean, come on. You're just like, you want to paint Spider-Man? Well, here's the 3 or 4 paints for $15-$20, and
Right.
you can go paint Spider-Man.
Absolutely.
Once.
yeah, I think it was Legion because I remember them having like a specific kind of off-white for the stormtroopers and things like that.
Gee, and that was about all of the Fantasy Flight report. I mean, those were the 3 big main things. And by the way, all those will not be out here. They're coming out later and in the fall,
Right.
Q3,
Final hour
Q4.
is for sale.
Oh, it is now.
Or will be.
Yeah, okay.
But
Okay.
the 2 Marvel games is October, November or something.
Okay.
Yeah.
So, Tony, of those 3, I mean, anything it's like,
It's going to. I don't want to say a money grab, but I mean it's the Marvel IP, plain and simple. Like I said, I've got Lord of the Rings. I don't
this is
play
new
that.
for them. They haven't had the Marvel IP.
No, what I'm saying
Yeah,
is, I've got Lord of the Rings. Why do I need to keep investing in a game that I don't play?
I totally get that. I will probably at least get a starter set just to see how it plays.
I agree with you. And Lord of the Rings had the one. Can you have single play? Did they say
You can do single player.
You can do
yeah.
solo? You can do solo.
Nice thing is, though, I guess with the starter deck of them, I think it's called Marvel Champions.
That's it.
Is that if you just buy the starter set, you could just pick up a scenario pack every so often and at least play a
Yeah.
brand new scenario.
Right.
There you go.
Right.
Yep,
Okay.
$15 new scenario.
Yeah, I think it's a good idea because I think right now there's probably a lot more Marvel fans out there than there are Lord of the Ring or definitely Arkham fans.
Mm-hmm.
So if, like my son loves Marvel, my youngest son, so he would be into this. He's not going to be into playing Lord of the Rings or Arkham.
Okay.
He's just not into it. So I think it's probably a good idea to stick with a tried and true system that was going to pull in, let's say, the non-gamer or the casual gamer kind of idea.
Yep.
So, but yeah, I get what you're saying. Having played Lord of the Rings and Arkham a bunch myself, it's like, I've already kind of done this. But if you're coming at it from, I want the Marvel perspective first, then it's probably a good idea. Yeah.
And I enjoyed Marvel Legendary.
Right.
So okay, this is a different.
Yeah,
I think
it's
building.
kind of in that ballpark.
Did
too.
you like Versus? Oh, but Versus is different because
It's
that's head to head.
competitive.
Yeah, it's competitive, but I
yeah,
know.
Legendaries, I think, a good comparison.
Right. So I'm glad y'all had fun there and you made it safe. You got it to the press. I did not go. I was busy. I forget, running around. The day has been a whirlwind. All I know is I saw a bunch of boxes at the portal booth. Empires of the North is stacked high. I hope Ignacy has a good luck selling that because, you and I love the game.
Yep.
We love
Yep.
the game. And so hopefully, he'll have a rush on the booth. It's only time will tell.
I guess we'll find out tomorrow. So Gen Con officially starts tomorrow, going for the next 4 days. Before we get out of here, Joel, is there anything that you were specifically looking for game-wise?
Well, no, but we played a fun game tonight a couple of times. A little game from
Oh.
Greater Than Games called Medium.
Yes, let's talk about what could be the game of the con.
Now,
I've already declared a game of the con.
Now, I didn't get to play. I was over there playing another game called Horrified, which maybe I don't want to talk about it tonight because it was awful. Not the game's awful, but the event that
Oh,
occurred
what happened was
what
awful.
happened was awful. So I want to
Yeah.
hold up and see what's going on from that standpoint. So we'll talk about that one a little bit later. But so Medium, this game of the con y'all are declaring.
Go ahead.
Yeah.
Tell us
You want
about
to
it.
explain it? Okay, so I'm not going to explain the scoring because that's really sort of secondary.
Doesn't matter.
Right. So you can play it from like 2 to 8 players. And so here's the basic mechanics. Marty, I give you a hand of 6 cards. They all have one word on them.
Mm-hmm.
I have a hand of 6 cards. They all have one word on them. I look at my hand and go, okay, I play a card out in front. So it's got a word. Let's say it's turtle. And then Marty, you look at my word that I played and you put out a card and it says, let's say it says boil.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, so we both look at the cards, turtle and boil. We think a little bit. We say, are you ready? Are you ready? Then we say 3, 2, 1, and we say a word at the same time. If you say the same word, let's say we both said soup, then we win and we get some points. But let's say you miss. Marty says stew, I say soup.
Right.
Well, we didn't match, but then those 2 words now become our new words. So now you've got to match stew and soup. And then you think a little bit, 3, 2, 1, and do it again. So you do it basically, get 3 tries at it, and then the amount of points you get goes down as you go. So you can kind of play it round robin, play it simultaneously. But we played it there was a bunch of us just playing the prototype there. in the hotel lobby, and everybody was having a blast. You were saying it was a lot like the Mind, because when you have that moment, it doesn't play like the Mind, but when you have that moment of you're on the same page, kind of telepathically somehow thinking the same thing, it's a big celebratory thing. You high five, and it's like a rush.
Yeah, it is. And I actually got to play a demo of this at Origins. I actually talked about it on the show earlier. It's just one of those things that I think it's going to do really well. So we'll wait and see. Yeah, we'll wait and see.
And I'll have to wait and see my turn at it. I haven't gotten a chance.
Game of the Con.
Game of the Con. Calling
Game
it
of the
right
Con.
now.
On Wednesday before the con has started.
Okay, I'll trust you guys. We'll see. We'll see.
All right, well, we got to get to bed. We got to get up early in the morning, and we got to let Joel get some sleep because we're going to be staying together for the next 3 or 4 nights. So
Yes, we will.
Get comfy. And by the way, just let me warn you, Joel, if you wake up in the middle of the night and Tony's just staring at you, sitting in it happens sometimes. It's weird.
I'll just let it happen.
Okay, but he just might be sitting in the corner room just staring, and then come to find he's thinking of ways he can murder you, and that's not even know it. We found out that last year when we stayed with Rodney.
Well, you be quiet.
Okay, so I'll try to let you sleep. All right, that's it. We'll be back in a few seconds as we come into Thursday night. You are going to hear about a lot of games in this episode, and many of these games are already out or on pre-order on miniaturemarket.com. Make sure to head over there and place your order. And remember, anything over $100 gets free shipping. And if your order doesn't reach $100, just put it on hold and keep adding more orders until the total sum of all those orders is greater than $100. They'll release that in one big order and continue to give you that free shipping. To find out more on all these great games we're mentioning, go to miniaturemarket.com. It is now Thursday night at Gen Con, which was the first official day. We had our big strike tournament night. Well, we'll talk about that later. And Tony,
Yes.
we are joined by a longtime Gen Con episode guest, special guest, Rodney Smith. Rodney, thank you for...
They're talking about me.
Yes, we are. So happy that you are back.
It's good to be back. Although it's funny you said this is the first official day of Gen Con. I feel like I've been here forever. Because
Yes.
I got here on Wednesday. It was like setting up the booth and all that work. And it's like, boy.
By the way, it's not Thursday night, it's Friday morning. And you're
It
still
is. You're
up.
right. It is Friday morning. It's 12:09.
We also have another special guest, and this is becoming a longtime friend of ours that Rodney introduced to me, a couple years ago out in L.A.
Right.
Very famous writer and producer from Hollywood.
You're reading that directly from the card.
David Finkel.
Hello.
You've had a lot of credentials on shows. You were a producer for New Girl.
Yeah.
And
You just run through
and
the
run
list.
through it. You did some work on 30 Rock.
I did.
Don't forget United States of Terra.
United States of Terra, a very, very popular show.
And let's just come back to me for a moment. I have a YouTube channel. Okay.
I worked on Joey.
I
was not friends, but it was Joey.
I keep a journal, and I write a lot of stuff in that.
I have watched a lot. I watched St. Elsewhere.
Oh,
beginning to end.
cool.
I worked on some stuff.
What'd you think about the end of St. Elsewhere? Did you like it? Or
And
not?
I'm not kidding. We could go on a long, long tangent about this. I think it's a great episode.
Yes.
We'll talk after we're done here. We'll talk after we're done. There's a lot of theories about that. We'll talk about the Timmy. What's his name? The kid's name.
I never watched it. It was
Timmy
all
Westfall.
It was
Timmy
not a
Westfall.
dream, right?
It was all a dream, but there's a whole. I won't go. I know your
No, he's going to.
listeners are gonna not care about this. There's something called the Timmy Westfall theory. Because of that kid, all these other shows cross through Timmy Westfall's snow globe, and it makes it so that almost all of television is in this kid's head. We'll stop there because it'll blow everyone's minds. But it's
Wow.
pretty intense. Yeah.
What the hell's he talking about?
You didn't watch St. Elsewhere?
No.
Ah, come on.
It's one of those that it was a hospital show, right?
Yeah.
Okay, from like the 80s?
Yeah.
80s, 90s?
Yeah.
And it ended up being like it was just all a dream from a little kid. It was a bizarre
It was
ending
a super weird ending.
for a
Okay.
serious
That must
drama.
have really upset a lot of people.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
Yes, very much so. Anytime you end in it's a dream,
Yeah.
it's not
No,
great.
it's not good.
Yeah.
They say, except for one show that ended in a dream that people loved.
Oh, yes, the best one, Newhart. Sure. of
Thank
course.
you.
Oh.
That's it. Yeah. It was one of the
The best one of all.
Tony is like just looking at me. He's like, "What the heck are you guys talking about?"
It's just another traditional rolling dice and taking names episode.
All right, let's talk about lawnmowers. Let's get ready
When do we get to the lawnmowers?
You're just putting off the inevitable
what?
for the third.
No, don't talk about it. So, so this is Dave's
right.
first time to Gen Con.
Yes.
You just got in today, so you haven't really experienced Gen Con. This is
No.
first time in Indy.
Oh,
Yeah.
He's experienced some important things about Gen Con, though. Like,
here we
like
go.
like the will call line.
I did the
Oh,
will call
did you
line.
do the will?
Yes.
Okay, so why don't you tell us the horrors of the will call line? Because I've not been through that in a few
It wasn't
years.
that long.
No, it wasn't too bad.
It was fine. It was lovely.
So that's a terrible story.
There's really no-
The anecdote is
It's like
wasn't
a
exciting as
episode
I
of This
thought it was
American
gonna be.
Life. Yeah, there wasn't really much to say.
But for people who don't know, like there's like how many people come to Gen Con? With
65,000.
Yeah, and so many of those people have to go pick up their badges and tickets,
were about
and that
50 in
line
line.
can be nutty.
There was only 50 in line.
maybe.
So here's our tip: go Thursday night.
Yeah,
Yeah.
They're open all night. Go at 2 in.
That's true. They're open 24/7. Not 24/7.
I remember one time Chaz Marler and I did a skit of going down the line. The line went like
For ages, yeah.
I mean, it was like all the way down the convention
No, I
center.
saw pictures
Hundreds of
from
people.
this morning, I
Yeah.
think, and it was like around the block, right? It was like way around the block. It was crazy.
But are you saying skip the day Thursday so you can get your ticket Thursday night?
Yes, that's what I'm saying.
That
So
is
I
insane.
bought a 4-day
what I'm saying.
ticket and I want to sacrifice a day to avoid a line.
No, do what Dave did. Come
late.
Just come late.
Man, who cares?
I agree.
Look, do you want our advice or not?
You
I
invited
would
us.
like good advice.
Oh, I can't give you good. It's advice.
All right, so it's first day now. Rodney,
Yeah.
you are actually at the BGG booth.
Right.
And you're doing a lot of previews, a lot of different games and stuff. So
Right.
I think there was a special announcement
There
today.
was. It was kind of an unveiling, really. So BGG has been working for the last year on a new branding for the website and for the logo and all that. So all that finally got unveiled at the show here, which is pretty exciting. Because I've been kind of in the thick of it, I haven't really seen what the reaction has been online. I'm sure there's a few threads popping up here and there because the changes are pretty dramatic. I would say you guys saw it too, right? So some color changes, the logo's changed. And we're going to see some of those changes pop up on the website as well. Describing it probably isn't as good as just going to the website. So shortly after Gen Con, I think a week or two after Gen Con, you should see the new icons, the new logos and colors show up there as well. Now, this is not a full redesign of the webpage. That is coming as well. But right now, it's just a rebranding.
So I'm looking at the logo here in the Board Game Geek hot room right now.
Oh, yeah, that's actually where we're recording. So if you hear some noise around us, we're actually in the thick of things in the BGG hot room.
So is that the rebranding where the head is now just
Yes.
completely red?
So
and
before
BGG's
there
white?
was a character. Some of you may or may not know the name of Ernie. That was the name of the sort of the logo, right? So this is like an homage to Ernie. You've got a head of some sort, but it's a little bit more nondescript, a little more neutral, and we've got sort of more angles and shapes rather than just sort of this whole cartoon character who was running with a chessboard, I think, at one time. I mean, that was a logo that was made at the very beginning of the channel by someone I think who worked with Aldi. You know, they sketched a little drawing and someone who was an artist put something together. And that was 20 years ago.
wow.
I know from Watch It Play, like when I first launched my channel, I again scribbled a little logo and stuck it on there because it was just
that
I
the
needed
picture of
something,
you?
know,
That little thing?
Yeah,
Yeah,
yeah, exactly.
interesting.
And then of course later on, I said, okay, it's time for me to do something a little more.
So let me
evolved.
ask, who should I send the invoice to for that paid commercial for BGG?
Pretty good, right? Yeah. You can send it to me.
Scott Alden sitting behind you, the head of us. I'll just send it to him.
Yeah,
over
okay.
there.
Fair enough.
That's good. No, I'm just kidding. So, did you see anything exciting today? I mean, there's anything that stood out? Probably people want to hear about some cool games that you may have seen.
Well, I mean, I'm gonna have to talk. I think about a game that you and me and Dave played tonight.
Yeah, come
Oh,
on
yeah,
in
yeah.
here, Dave.
Sure,
we did
sure,
get to play
sure.
about
Because
this.
we played a game that was announced and revealed here by Fantasy Flight Games. It's called, I think it's Arkham Horror.
Arkham
It's
Horror Final Hour.
Final Hour is like the big title on it, and this is another cooperative game in the Arkham Horror universe. But it's got some twists, I'd say. First of all,
very
one of the-
different than any other game.
Yeah.
Oh, to me, I thought it was going to be a scaled down version of Arkham or Eldritch.
Right.
Right.
It's neither.
No, I agree. It's not like this doesn't sound great. It's not a dumbed down version, or it's not even really a streamlined version. It's a different kind of
completely
game.
different.
But it plays in about 45 to an hour, I would say.
Yeah. And what's interesting is typically in Arkham, in the card game, Eldritch and in the Arkham game itself, and even Mansions, usually on your turn, you've got so many actions that you can
Right,
do.
right.
This is totally different. You have a deck of cards based on the character that you're playing, and you just draw the top card, and there's a top action and a bottom action.
Right.
The top one's usually really good,
Yep.
and the bottom's usually bad. And then you have another card that each of you draw from a hand of 4 that ranges from like 1 to 30.
Yeah.
And basically it's a priority or initiative.
Yep.
And the first two who have the lowest initiative get to play their cards first, which is the better abilities. The other two get stuck with the two bottom ones.
So you don't really know, am I going to be playing the top half or not? If you play a very low number like a 3, you're like, I'm pretty sure I'm going to be going first, do my top half. If you're playing like a 15, you don't know, right?
Yep.
And I think the numbers get revealed in turn order. So you start to see what people are doing, and it might adjust what you want to do, right? So
Seems like the top 2 actions, the top action is almost always something like a fight, and the bottom action is almost always like an investigation, but it
Yes.
comes with at a price.
Yes.
And that's the other thing about this is thematically we're trying to stop this ritual or cult ritual going on, and at the end it becomes this almost a deduction puzzle, right? You're trying to uncover this hidden information. So the more you investigate, the more you learn about the hidden information, so that you can all, hopefully in the end, make an authoritative guess about how to stop the ritual.
Right.
Yeah.
At the beginning of the game, there are two symbols that are used to close the gate, or
Yeah.
But there's
Stop the
these two
ritual.
symbols, and then there's scattered around the board are these hidden investigation tokens, and you need to go to a city and investigate to see what it is, so you can by process of elimination determine what the two hidden ones are.
Right.
So I mean, it's nice little deduction give it. The thing is, it's kind of odd is, instead of just saying we think it's this, those cards that we had that had the initiative on them have those symbols on them.
Right.
And at the end, when you make a guess, you have to play those cards from your hand, hoping that you have the right symbols
Right.
of what you think
Once you
it
know what the
is.
symbols are, you also have to have the cards of those symbols to
right.
play them.
So it's not just as easy to say, oh, it's those two symbols. You then have to play the cards to say that's really the two symbols.
There was a lot of things about it that were just kind of unique. I don't feel like I've really seen combined in that
No.
way in a game. So I kind of had to give them kudos for taking an Arkham game and giving us something kind of different, quite different.
And 45 minutes. I mean, that's
Yeah.
the best. What were you going to say?
Yep.
I mean, that's the best part. Is like it feels like a fun full game, and yet it's only like about 45
Meaty
minutes. An hour.
choices, like tough choices, like, oh, do I want to play this card or that card? And,
Especially if you don't have the higher initiative value, and you have to make the best out of the bottom of the card. You have no choice.
Yeah.
You really do feel like I'm gonna mess this up, but I have to do this thing. It's kind of great.
Like you said, usually when you sit down and play an Arkham game, you're looking, all right, we're going to invest 2 hours in this.
Right.
And with a lot of setup and playtime, and setup on this was pretty, you set it up. It was, or Joel
I know
set it
Joel
up.
did, yeah.
Joel Eddy from Drive Thru Review set it up. It didn't take too long to set up. And
And there's multiple scenarios in there, right? So you can play against one monster, play against easier one, more difficult one, and so forth. So and this is a small thing, but speaking of size, small box size. Like we're seeing lots of these big box games. This is like a lot of game in a small box.
hold on. Right now, as I just said, Joel Eddy's walking up behind us, and he's got like his hand out. Like, what, Joel? Get in here.
It sounded like a derogatory thing, Joel's long setup.
No.
What were you saying?
No, I said that Joel set it up, and it didn't seem like it took long at all.
Which game?
Final hour.
Final, yeah.
Oh, yeah.
final.
No, don't take long.
Yeah,
2 minutes.
so it wasn't derogatory. It was like very complimentary.
Okay, I think it was just your tone.
It's an understandable mistake to make, Joel. Honestly,
He
yeah.
can't not sound sarcastic.
Yeah.
Oh, nice clothes.
I felt insulted at least 6 times during this.
I've gone to the bathroom and wept openly 5 times. Yeah. You're a mean person.
Okay, Tony, hold on. Tell us about the new game that you got to play twice. That was also like a Halloween or a horror themed game.
I thought
that
you were going to talk
Rodney
about something
taught us.
else. But no, you said the other game. Okay, very good. Because I've actually played a couple of games, which is unusual for Gen Con, which is awesome. I'm glad to do that. And that was Horrified.
Took a long time to get to that point.
I like it.
I'm sorry, I'm waking back up from the discussion on
Yeah,
Arkham
he was having a
Horror.
little nap there.
I had a question about Arkham Horror, by
Yes,
the way.
ask it. Go ahead.
Was there flavor text?
Yes, there was a little bit. There was
Oh,
titles.
man.
There was
There
titles
wasn't
for
a
the
lot.
cards.
Well,
Just
also,
a
there's
little
a quote underneath whatever the
Big
action
cards, little cards.
is. Cards.
Regular size cards. No mini cards.
No mini
No,
cards.
there were. Well, the
there
initiative
was some
cards
mini
were,
cards,
And the
but
item
they
cards.
sort
and
of-
the item cards.
Yeah.
But other than that, there was no mini cards.
So other than all those mini cards, there was none. Yeah,
right,
got it.
exactly.
Okay.
All right.
All right,
So,
back to
horrified.
Horrified. So I've got to play it twice. Once.
Who's it from?
I don't remember.
Oh, my gosh.
Ravensburger.
Ravensburger.
Yeah.
That's it.
Yep.
I was
Or
thinking,
Ravensburger.
Or
Ravensburger.
Right.
The
right.
people
That's
who
probably
made
it.
Strike, which we'll come
That's
back
the
to.
one.
in
Oh
a
yeah,
second.
we should talk about Strike soon.
No, we
Yes,
will.
we
But
will.
let's talk about Horrified.
But Horrified, yes. So here we have a game where you are a co-op and you are trying to defeat the monsters of the
Universal
Yeah.
Studios.
Universal Studios. I was thinking the 40s, the 50s, Lon
Dracula,
Chaney,
Wolfman,
all that.
Invisible
Creature of the
Man.
Black Lagoon. And, it takes me back to the times when I was building my Reveal monster of
Oh,
the
sure.
Creature of the Black Lagoon. Oh, that's a good model.
Is it Reveal or Revel?
Revel.
Or
Revel?
Reveal.
Ravalier?
I think it is, right, yeah.
Ravioli.
Okay.
So you're working as a team to defeat them on the board. You have, similar to the pandemic, death track, as I call it. You're trying to keep from
I think it's
dying.
actually called the death track. Continue. Or threat track. My dear.
Well, the guy
It's neither here nor there.
When the guy was teaching me, I was
Yeah.
actually
Who was
reading
that?
the rule book.
He was.
I noticed that the other night.
We have picture
I got a
evidence of this.
picture. Rodney's teaching it, and Tony's slumped back in his chair reading the rule book.
I am standing at the head of the table, commanding attention from everyone except for one gentleman. Head buried in the rule book.
And why was
Tony
my head?
McCree.
Why was I was because you had never played with the mummy, and you weren't sure. You hadn't said, "Well, I don't know this curse thing. Go look that up." And I did as commanded. That's what he said. Do
Well,
therefore,
he spent a long time in that rule book. A
Oh.
long time.
We should save this for off the air. A lot of therapy
This
stuff.
is the therapy session.
But back to the game. So yes, so think pandemic with monsters. You're trying to defeat the monsters. We had 3. The game I played before, there were 4. So 4 diseases.
You're talking about monsters.
Yeah, monsters. Yeah, I know, but I'm
But
just,
you know, unlike Pandemic, where all the diseases are effectively the same, every monster in this game has a very
Yes.
unique sort of way of dealing with them and fighting them, and I think pretty thematic.
Oh, yeah.
too, right?
Yeah, very much so.
Like Dracula, you run around, and smash his coffins, and then defeat him.
So if you're smashing his coffins, is that so he can't go to sleep?
I think so. He
Okay.
can't. He has nowhere to
He
go.
has nowhere to- and then the sun
Nowhere
comes
to
up and he's gone.
Yeah.
And the Black Lagoon creature, we're chasing him out of town.
Yeah.
Right.
Got to find his
Right.
lair.
The theme of Frankenstein and Frankenstein's
pretty great.
Bride was pretty good.
Yes.
You're trying to make them more humane.
Right.
So that when they meet each other, they'll live happily
Because
ever
if they
after.
meet each other before then you start to lose again. Like and they'll fight and they don't get along, so you got to humanize them first. Yeah, it's
Yeah,
cool.
you got to keep them far apart from each other.
Yeah.
So on the player's turn, the player is going to do his actions based on the character that he's choosing. Each character has a special ability, a limited number of action. You have some base action.
which is very much like Pandemic.
Yes.
Yeah.
Then you have some very base actions like move. You have these villagers that are going to show up on the board for some odd reason. They should be staying inside because there's monsters on the loose.
they got shopping to do.
They got
Things to do,
They gotta
man.
go to the mansion. They gotta go to the library.
That's true. They go to the theater.
And you have to escort them to where they want to go. It's
Yeah.
like, just stay
There's
inside.
just like call a Lyft, call Uber. What are you doing? Well, I don't understand what you're doing out here. There's monsters, and they can escalate the death track if the monsters show up on their spaces.
Right.
And then when it happens, the players do their actions. Then at the end of their actions, you then flip over a monster card. That monsters that are on the card, you can place more items on the board, or you place a villager who should be staying inside, and then you go into the monsters and you activate the monsters. The monsters move towards the various heroes or characters, and you roll dice to see if they attack and kill them. And then normally in the games
We
I've
could
played,
just play
you
my
always
tutorial
lose.
video. I mean,
Sounds like a guy that read the manual.
we can't just leave the audience to discover the rules on their own.
Right,
through
that's not-
Rodney's
no, that's
video.
right.
But I will say,
do you want to go over the solo rules while you're at it?
Well, you know, when I read the book, it was awesome, and he was explaining it, and I was picking it all
That's
up.
right.
But all in all,
Clearly you absorbed
this-
it all.
This
Yeah.
game is horrific. From a bad game standpoint, it is brutal. It defeats.
It's so
it's a
funny.
tough
It's so the counterpoint to that is the first few times I played it, it was like such a cakewalk. And I think what I've discovered is the number of players you have at the table playing is really going to affect the difficulty, and you have to adjust accordingly. And the rules provide, say, 2 monsters is a novice level, 3 monsters is standard, 4 is advanced. Well, I think that's true if you have like 4 players. But if you have 2 players, you might want to add in that extra monster because I think you need to play it to see how that works. But it's a simple fix, but I think that's kind of required. But our game tonight was, I would say, a pretty
That was a good game.
good, tense.
It was
like,
good.
We lost.
It was good.
But we also made some mistakes. When you say, Mario, like a couple of things we thought afterwards, oh, we've done this, we might have,
I think we didn't play well at the beginning of the game, like you
Yeah.
and Joel said. You know,
And then we sorted it out, you know.
We also had some dumb luck. I mean, there were some things on there where things just appeared in our spaces.
but
I'm trying to
we had
be
some
helpful.
real-
to
no,
us.
no. But I'm saying, but when Rodney's over here rolling blanks, which are good on the
Yeah.
dice,
Yeah.
we had some incredible luck with the
Yes,
dice.
we did. We
Both
did.
ways,
Yep.
yeah.
Nope, you're right.
From this game's standpoint, though, it's so brutal that I want to play it again.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I want to keep
It's
going
challenging.
again. It's challenging.
And you can try
and-
different combinations of
different
monsters,
combinations,
and
yeah.
heroes. Yeah.
And what's interesting, we played 2 co-op games. We lost both, and they felt still different. I
Yeah,
guess.
they were different, and I enjoyed both of them.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, it was very the danger was there.
Yeah.
You know, like, oh my gosh, if he moves here, I'm going to
Right,
die,
yeah.
or he's going to kill Mrs. Plum at the mansion, or whatever it was.
What was interesting between the two is Horrified was all about discussing and talking about co-op strategies, whereas Final Hour is like you can't hardly talk
Yeah.
Yeah.
at all. They try to keep it down. Well, before we run out of time, let's go ahead and talk about
Well,
the
I
event
got something else
okay,
I need
good.
to talk
Thank you.
about.
Good.
Okay,
Good.
it's something that we teased in the last episode. No, Mr. Smith, you know I pick at you and we have a good time. We're good friends here, but there is something I'm very concerned about.
Okay.
All right. You recently
Unburden yourself, please.
Okay, yes. You recently released a video about how when you do the box flip.
Yes, correct.
All right, the box flips. By the way, I have a question. That box twirl versus flip doesn't, twirl goes around, flip goes
Yes.
over over end. But anyway, that's beside the point.
Right.
Things are different in
I am
Canada.
concerned about. I'm concerned
Dave's
about.
well traveled.
Yes, he is. I'm concerned about your safety, sir.
Yes. Do you think I should
Yes.
wear a helmet in my videos?
No, that's not what I'm worried about.
Okay.
Because, well, first, you don't have safety glasses on. You have your regular glasses.
Right.
So I'm not worried. You're flipping a box.
Yes.
And others are doing this too. And you don't put any, professionals should do this.
You're worried I'm spreading a dangerous activity amongst impressionable people.
I believe in
Oh, I
Darwinism.
hadn't considered that.
I believe in it. I believe in the Darwin principle. The weak should fall out.
Right, okay.
But my concern for you, sir, is your money makers can get hurt, and those are your hands. Think about your videos, sir.
Yeah.
Your
Well,
hands are always what we see the
that's
most
true.
of.
Yes.
And you are flipping a dangerous cornered shot box. I could just see that going up and that box coming down and just slicing you. And then when you start talking about the video, all of a sudden all we see are bandaged hands.
Right.
So I am very. Have you thought about
you have
mechanics?
deep concern for my channel. I really appreciate. You are a good friend.
I-
Marty's never expressed that concern to me ever.
Don't you think that the danger element is like a draw? Like people are going to start watching now to see.
Yeah.
Will he lose digits?
Lose a
this week?
limb
Yeah,
or
yeah.
take
I
out
think
an
it sort
eye
of
or
adds
something.
a little bit of je ne sais quoi. That's French for you Canadians.
yeah,
yes.
yeah.
That means I don't know.
I'm convinced.
Personally, I think you ought to up it up a little bit. Have you ever thought about lighting the boxes on fire?
No, I have never considered that ever. It's never crossed my mind.
Once again, I'm not asking you to push the safety like someone on this
Yeah.
channel. I'm asking you to consider maybe mechanic gloves or something to protect your hands. Hand safety, those are your money makers, sir.
His hands are the money makers.
Well, think about it. What do you see in the videos the most? It's not
It's a lot of my
it's
hands.
Not that
It's
beautiful.
a lot. It's true. It's a lot of my
Well,
hands.
you could use a hand model. George Costanza was a hand model in Seinfeld until he
Look,
grabbed onto
I
an
just
iron.
feel like my audience deserves, authentic, a little bit of authentic danger.
And
You know what I
does
mean?
that include having the boxes full of content?
Oh, those suckers are empty.
Oh yeah, they're very.
yeah, they're
now,
very
you know what the
empty.
thing is? I came to the convention here. The very first thing we spoke about Ravensburger, right? I went by the booth and she said, she pulls out her camera, puts the camera video on. You're gonna flip a box now. I said okay, and she passed me a box. It was full, and said, now give this a flip. And I'll be honest, I was like, I don't know if I can pull this off. Flip. Catch, it was perfect.
Of course it was.
Yeah, yeah.
It's like you throwing blanks tonight.
It's one of those things where I'm starting to believe my own powers. like initially, come on, let's be honest. The box is empty. Maybe I'm not that good. And I was like, maybe I am that good.
What can't you do?
Yeah, I wonder.
He's got beautiful hands.
I'm going to
He can flip a
backflip off
box.
this table right now. It'll be fine.
Hey, we have flipped a table.
We have.
We have flipped a table 360 degrees, and it's on video.
That's also
so-
on video. I
Oh,
saw it.
yeah,
It's
yeah,
impressive.
sure.
Now, there's something else that's also very impressive that we need to talk about, and that was your meetup tonight.
Oh, yeah.
Yep, so tonight was our annual strike tournament. This was our third annual event over at the Old Spaghetti Factory. We had about 100 people show up.
Yep.
They had a great time. I think they had a great time. They seemed
It
to.
was-
We
oh,
had
for
a
sure.
bunch
Yeah,
of
yeah.
special guests, including you guys that came out. Thank you so much for supporting it. We had amazing support from our sponsors. Miniature Market gave away an incredible bag.
Did they ever?
Oh, man. Yeah.
Holy cow.
That
Yeah, so
was
it's going to
pretty-
be on
pretty amazing.
their website, so you need to go check it out. It's a gorgeous bag for basically carrying games. It's a backpack. It has a handle. But then we played a strike tournament, and 3P.
Yes, yes, the gladiators in the arena won again.
And it was an amazing. We saw dice in a bowl. It had to be at least 10 dice in hand.
Yeah.
Versus that was BJ, wasn't it, from Boardgames?
Yes, it was. It was.
And he was whittling away. He pulled out an empty arena.
Yes.
And she had to roll, and almost all of them matched.
Yep.
Yeah, yeah.
And it was just like, oh my gosh! And then slowly the tide turned. You could feel it. You could feel the
You could
momentum
feel
shifting.
yourself in the arena, couldn't you?
Yes.
Right?
You
the
could feel the
crowd's
danger.
cheering.
Yeah, what was amazing is that we had 6 people. We had, it ended up the tournament being 3 that represented gladiators in the arena and 3 that represented dice in the bowl, and they whittled down until the final 2. One was gladiators in the arena and one was dice in the bowl.
Yeah.
It was super exciting
Yeah,
to
it was
watch.
really good. It's always a fun time. Yeah.
And we can't thank the people who participated, gave to the meetup for the giveaways, Plan B. I mean,
Rodney's
on
channel,
Rodney's channel.
Yeah.
contributing, Chaz's channel contributing. So
And then game toppers, just keep going down the list.
Oh, yeah.
Restoration Games, Miniature Market Joey Minson, of course, Portal Games, Gray Fox Games. I could keep going, but I'm tired.
It's a great thing to do, and look, every year you guys do it, I'll be there for it.
Yeah, it was a blast. My first time there, and it really did feel like there was just like a groundswell of support and love for you guys, and it was cool to just be in the room and experience it.
Cool.
Having listened to it many times. So.
yeah, I'm glad you guys made it. My
Yeah,
wife
great.
was already like, "Where's the pictures?" And I was like, I was so in the headspace of trying to keep things right. I didn't even
Yeah.
get any pictures. So few people, if you have any pictures, please share them on Twitter and tag us so we can grab some of those shots. You took a video,
I did. I took some
which I
videos.
appreciate.
I
You took a
definitely will share it
video
with you.
of the
Yeah.
of the championship.
Yeah,
And
that's right.
then Rob Oren was sitting there doing a video.
He
too.
did. He shot a lot of video, yeah.
He shot a lot of video. Thanks to Rob, great guy. Rob's Tabletop World.
Yes.
If you haven't checked it out, please do. About painting miniatures. He does an amazing job on those things. An amazing job. But he was sitting there behind me doing it, and he was commentating through the whole thing about how it was going, who was winning, the tide. He was making color commentary. Can't wait to see that.
Yeah, that's going to be great. Well, gentlemen, I know it is getting late. Rodney, you got to get. Actually, I got to get up early too because
Yeah,
I'm
we both do.
doing
That's
the
right.
the early show, the Chaz and Marty in the morning.
Yeah.
There's a jingle and everything. And the Chaz will not admit it. Chaz and Marty in the morning, and he just won't accept it. Dave, I'm so glad you got to join us. It has
beyond
been
happy.
like, gosh, 2 years since I've seen you, man.
Probably about that, yeah.
Yeah, it's one of those things. Dave and Rodney
Yeah.
and Rich and I all we met together in L.A. a
place,
few
yeah.
years ago, and then ever since then we
had
just
a fantastic time.
and then
That
we
was-
just
yeah.
kind of
Yeah.
keep up and we chat and everything, and even
Sorry, Tony.
Back to that, Tony.
Hey, this is my one. I'm glad I finally got to meet you.
Yeah.
I'm sitting here looking at the HR Puffin Stuff horrific hands.
Oh, this is actually a really cool shirt. It does no good on a podcast, but
No.
it's
It's,
We'll post lots of pictures.
yeah, it's really cool.
It's
So
a mashup of the Misfits and HR Puffin stuff.
I can't wait to see what you think tomorrow on the floor.
Yeah.
When you go
Yeah.
in and see and experience
First time.
this.
I will try and record my thoughts as I go.
Yeah, you should. All right, gentlemen, thank you so much
Thanks
for
for having
coming on. Have a
Yeah.
great rest of the con. And Tony, you got anything? No, he's probably pretty
finger's
much
on the
done
button.
over here.
No, I'm done. I'm okay.
He's got his finger on the
I'm
stop
just
record.
basking in the victory of Gladiators.
Oh
in
my
Arena.
gosh! Yeah, for one more year,
That's right.
It is
You'd
Gladiators
be
in
thankful
Arena.
I can't find the squirrel suit. That would have been a third year.
That's true. All right. Thanks again, gentlemen.
Yeah, good night.
Absolutely.
Right now, we are at the big secret Cabal meetup on Saturday night, and y'all, I am so excited to have a special guest on the show. It's the first time this person has ever been in the U.S.
How did he come on our show?
I don't know how he accidentally walked into the room, and it was like, I guess I'm in front of a microphone, so we're going to record now. What the most
Hold
prolific...
on. The bathroom is down there on the left. Okay.
One of the most prolific designers in this hobby. If you've been in this hobby for any amount of time, then you'll know the name Stefan Feld. Stefan, welcome to our humble little show.
Thank you very much. Welcome. Hi.
Hello, and welcome.
Welcome.
We sat with Academy Games, and he was trying to teach us some German today. It did not go well.
Oh, es funktioniert sehr gut. It functioned very good.
So if you don't know, Stefan Feld has designed some amazing games like Castles of Burgundy, one of my all-time favorite games, Trajan, Carpe Diem, the list can go on. And he is here visiting with Queen Games, right? It's Queen
Yes,
Games.
yes.
Is there any game that you're promoting while you're here, or just you want to come and hang out?
With Merlin,
yeah.
I mean, we got Merlin, but
Yeah, well, the new expansion is shown at the booth this year. And so I have contact with Radjev. Radjev is the chief from Queen Games, and he said, Stefan, will you come to Gen Con? And I say, yes.
Okay. And what do you think of this madness?
It's
How does it compare to Essen as well?
Yeah,
Two questions.
It's great. In Essen, the people are angry and it's loud and it's yeah, and it's here in the USA. It's great. The people are all friendly and it's not so loud like in Essen.
Really?
Yeah. And it's amazing. It's a good show. I haven't the time to look around and look at games, but in Essen there's more a fair. Here in Gen Con it's more a convention with playing areas and it's a big family where people come together to play. In Essen more to buy things and yes.
Oh, yes. So here we got basically 65,000 people coming around to just hang around and play games. Now, there's a lot of buying, don't get me wrong.
Yeah, okay.
But once the convention center closes down, you can walk around anywhere, and thousands of people are just sitting around a table playing a game all night long.
Essen, I did not realize that they're just there. I mean, I had always heard that they play full games at Essen, where they're running demos.
For demos.
Yeah.
At Essen, do they play full games when they demo the game?
Entire game.
I don't know
That's
if it
fine.
were for, but I play much prototypes for me with the publishers, and I show my new prototypes. And this year there will be no new game.
Okay.
The reprint of Castle of Burgundy.
That's right.
New
That's right.
graphic.
Yep.
But 2020 there will be some things with Hall Games, the German publisher of Luna and Arcosphere or Oracle of Delphi. In USA, TMG make the games.
The TMG.
Yeah,
Yes,
TMG,
yes, that's
yeah.
right. Yes.
There will be a Stefan Feld like expert game, and with Queen Games we play something special, a miniature game from me.
Oh, look out now.
Is that next year?
I don't know.
Don't know?
Perhaps 2021.
A miniature game.
Yes. Wow.
Is it going to be a point salad miniature game?
Yes, a little bit.
Oh, that's cool.
Euro style Stefan Feld meets American style miniature game. But
Oh, come on. That sounds really good.
yeah, I hope so.
So I'm curious, how many games are you working on right now?
No, I'm working on 5 to 7 games at a time.
Wow.
Some little ones, family game style. Yeah, family game. Yeah. So,
Okay, yeah, no.
3 expert games and so on, and there's so 5 to up to 7 games I play.
In all different levels, like you said,
Yeah,
from family games to ones that are a lot more heavy or, a lot more complicated. Yeah.
It's your turn to ask. It's your turn to ask. That's a good question.
Should I ask you something?
Go for it. This is we'll be interviewed on our own show. Go.
Why are you so good, nice looking guys?
Who are you talking to? Because it's not us.
Well, we do a podcast, so that's kind of interesting you say that.
We don't do YouTube videos because of these faces.
No.
So, how was the flight over? I'm curious. Did you have a good flight?
Yes. 8 hours from Germany to New York. I were 2 days in New York to visit USA.
So you got to stay in New York City for a little while.
Yeah.
How was that?
Crazy. How does it compare to like Frankfurt or Berlin or?
All is very big. It's bigger than all I see in Germany. It's very crowded. But it's fantastic. I'm impressed of that town.
Yeah, it's there's a lot going on. There's a lot to see. It's hard to take in just 2 days.
2 days.
Yeah, did you stay in Manhattan?
Yes.
Yeah, okay. Did you go to Central Park or anything?
Yeah, Central
oh, okay.
Park.
That's
and,
nice.
And
Times Square?
Times Square, yeah, of course, and the Museum of 9/11.
Oh, yes.
I'm
Yep.
impressed. Now I can understand the. Oh, my English is so bad.
No,
The
no,
meaning
you're
of the
doing very
American
well.
people.
Yeah, the
yeah,
meaning- yes.
I can. Oh, it's very. I'm very.
It's very emotional.
Emotional.
Yes.
Very emotional. Yes. And then I come to Gen Con and it's great.
So when I was in Germany on vacation, Marty, I went on vacations. I don't
Here we
know-
go. Here we go.
Now, one thing I want to know: we were at Cologne. I'm handing Stefan my
Okay,
phone.
yes. The
Have you
dome
ever climbed? Have you ever climbed to the top of the
Yes.
Cologne? You have.
Per zu Fuß with my feet, I go the steps upstairs.
My height fear got to me. I had to stop. I was like, "Oh, this is scary."
Your height fear?
my fear
Your
of heights.
fear of heights?
my fear of heights. Either way, do they both work?
His English is better than yours
And
is.
we've always known it. Ignacie's English is better than my English.
In Germany, you put the words together. High fear, Höhenangst, and fear of heights. Yeah,
Yes,
heights,
okay.
yes. Yeah.
See, there you go.
That was your question as he climbed the stairs.
Well, it's interesting
We have one
for
of the
me.
most brilliant designers sitting in this table. It's like,
Maybe
did you
he-
climb those stairs?
Well, you should see this place. It's an amazing.
Yeah.
Oh, it's amazing. Now he may have had inspiration when he was ascending to the heavens. Who knows?
Well, okay, speaking of inspiration, where do you get inspiration for your games?
That's hard to say. Sometimes I'm under the shower and there's an idea. Sometimes I'm sit down at the table and think about mechanism and design a game. So it's
Is it mechanism first or theme?
mechanism. All
you,
people
it's gonna
know
be
that. My themes are pasted on. Okay. Yeah.
So that is so funny you say that, because when we say that, we make it sound like that's bad, but now you're admitting, oh yeah, I just paste on a theme to this really cool mechanic.
Yeah.
But the mechanics are solid and the gameplay is outstanding. I understand.
No, I do, but even though you say that, when I play a game like Trajan, when I'm looking at the board and everything, you took some really cool mechanisms, and the way that you do things fits the theme of the game.
For the gameplay, it's important that some things
Come together.
come together with a theme for the logical play style. But yeah, my prototypes have no names. I called all my prototypes town manager or island manager, or Bora Bora was island manager, or Carpe Diem manager, or another example was Notre Dame church manager,
Yeah.
Paris
A
manager.
brown cube, orange cube, blue cube.
Yeah.
So when you sit down to play a game, what's one of your favorite mechanisms?
Oh, that's good.
Okay, yeah. For me, it's important that it's a fresh mechanism. Newton, the card mechanism is very good.
Okay.
And so I look at a player to the games and say, oh, this is outstanding. The game must not be very good, but when I see a mechanism, I think, oh, good work. Worker placement or drafting or things like that, where the people say, oh, that mechanism, not for me. It's okay and I play, but...
How about this? Something more specific. What's some of your favorite games to play? When it's like, you know what? I just want to sit down and play a game. What are you going to pull off the shelf?
See, we don't want to put him in trouble with the other designers. Now, Ignacy has said...
He can say he doesn't have to answer.
I can answer.
Thank you.
I play the older games.
Okay.
From the three great German designer, Wolfgang Kramer, Rainer Knizia, and Klaus Teuber. Wolfgang Kramer, El Grande or Raja, a more unknown game. From Teuber, not Catan, Löwenherz, Lionheart. You know
Lionheart.
Very
we've
good
played
game.
that, yes.
Yeah, very good game. And from Knizia, Taj Mahal.
Taj Mahal.
Taj
Auction
Mahal,
game.
yes.
Yeah, very good.
We actually, Taj Mahal was re-released last year here in the U.S., and we played it for the first time. And we have a yearly award we give to games. That won our best reprint of the year award. Taj Mahal is good.
Yeah,
that's a
very good,
solid
very,
game. Do you ever play any? Oh boy, over here we call them Ameritrash games or very thematic games, stuff based more on dice rolls and luck. Do you enjoy any type of those?
Yes, I like it a lot. I play party games, Ameritrash games. The people don't think that, but playing this game, yeah.
Yep, you're a gamer.
Cool, yeah.
Do you play RPGs, role-playing games?
Yeah, now I have not the time to play role-playing games, but in my youth I'm a big player from role-playing games. There's a German one, Midgard, not known in America, or Rollmaster. In this time I play that.
2 questions left. What? Let's see. What's one thing that you can tell the audience that they may not have ever known about Mr. Stefan Feld? Is there something? It doesn't have to be about games. Is there a hobby or something that you like that people may not know this about me, but I like this or like doing this?
Okay, design games is a hobby for me. I have a real life
Job?
job. Yeah, job.
What is your job?
Yeah, I'm the principal of a German gymnasium. It's like a high school, college there.
I thought your full-time job was designing games.
no.
You're a principal at a school,
Yes.
and you design games on the side, and he's juggling 6 to 7 games at one time. Come on. And we can't even do a little podcast every 2 weeks, and this man's designing these amazing games.
Yeah. Okay, I'm ashamed. I'm ashamed.
Okay, another thing, I act as a theater actor in a hobby group. We have one play a year, and
You're an actor,
a hobby actor, but
Hobby actor.
Still.
But you have fun.
yeah,
What even if we don't even know if it's German, what play is it?
criminal play.
Okay.
Arson and arson and there were none. Is one game where from Agatha Christie.
Agatha Christie.
Like,
Okay.
yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. All right. Very good.
Yeah. And one last question that we ask all of our guests on the show. We're going to
Get
ask
ready.
it, then we'll explain why in a second. Tony, go ahead.
If you maintain your own grass lawn, what type of lawnmower do you use? Push the grass, mow grass, cut grass, sheep cutting grass.
I will let it
Grow.
and I cut it not.
You don't cut your own. Okay, you don't cut your yard. Okay.
Yeah.
That's fair.
That is a fair statement.
Yes.
In fact, I get yelled at a lot for not cutting my yard enough too.
Yeah. So that's okay. Well, there we go. He lets it grow. Probably have a
Let it
garden.
grow, yeah.
You have a garden?
Yes, but there's no grass because it's too hard to
To mow.
to mow.
Yes.
I have stones and terrasse.
Yes.
Yeah.
Oh, okay. And last thing. So is there anything, you said that you got some stuff that you're working on, but you can't announce anything yet. So we have the Merlin expansion that's coming out from Queen Games. So if you have Merlin
now, yes.
Yep. If you have Merlin, go get the expansion. If you don't have Merlin, go buy Merlin, then get the expansion.
Yes.
And is it too early to tell us what's coming up next? Or do we have to wait till next year?
It's not clear what will come. The publishers decide which game will come out. But at some South American theme game by Hall Games, TMG.
Okay.
The miniature game, I don't know. An Italian card game, Urbanio. We plan with Queen Games. So I'm self-surprised about which game will come next year.
Right. You just walk into a store and all of a sudden, oh, well, there's that game I was working on.
Well, that's nice.
Yeah,
Good surprise,
that is. Mr. Feld, thank you so
Thank
much
you.
for coming on the show. It has been an honor. This was totally unexpected. We had no clue this was going to happen, so I apologize to our audience. It's like they're probably yelling at us, why didn't you ask him this? Because 30 seconds before he came on, Queen Games said, hey, Stefan said he would come on the show with you for a little bit, and so he did.
And
Again,
we said you're kidding, right?
yeah,
You're joking.
And so
Stop
we're
pulling
sitting
messing
here.
with us.
So half of this interview, we're sitting here with our mouths open, stunned that we're sitting here with them. So, we can say that there is the new enhanced version of Castles of Burgundy coming out next year. That looks really good. I'm glad to see it's getting like a special version or
So
deluxe
with
version.
new graphics this autumn, it will come with new graphics, and all the old expansions are inside, and one new expansion is.
Oh, a new
Nice,
expansion.
nice.
Once again, thank you
you.
so much for coming back, and we hope you have safe travels back. And I hope we see you in the U.S. again and at Gen Con in the future.
Yes. It's an honor for me to be here with these two people.
Stop.
Und vielen Dank, dass ich da sein durfte. That you must translate for the other one.
Oh, no. He just said something.
Yeah, we'll get it.
We'll get
Figure
it.
it out.
Thank you so
I'm a teacher, so I have an exercise for you.
Okay, well then
Thank you.
I'll be listening to this recording and see if I get that deciphered. All right, thank you so much.
Yeah, welcome.
Boy, oh boy, is the Broken Token booth buzzing here at Gen Con. They have a huge, big, beautiful booth. It is packed every day. They're selling out of items. And if you aren't at Gen Con, that is A-OK. Because at any time you can go over to thebrokentoken.com and order their products from there. Make sure to join their newsletters. They're constantly releasing brand new organizers and products. Again, you can find them over at thebrokentoken.com.
All right, Marty, I'm kicking this segment off, and I would like to
Oh
change
my
the
gosh.
name
This is
of
going to
the-
be a nightmare.
This is a train
This is well, I don't know what's going to happen here because we're sitting around a table with a lot of different people.
Thank goodness for that, because we don't have to carry the show anymore. Well, let's start.
Well, what about, let's say it's Saturday night.
It's
Saturday night.
Oh, man.
At the Secret Cabal Gaming Podcast
You do not do
meetup
that
at
right.
Gen
You
Con.
do not
Do
do
it.
that.
Do
That
it.
was pretty good.
Do it.
Welcome to the Secret Cabal Gaming Podcast.
That is some skill. That is some
was
straight out
That was
skill.
solid.
And that is Rob from Blue Peg Pink Peg that's on. And also we have Tony from the Secret Cabal.
What's up?
Now hold on. People don't believe the two Tonys exist. So we had to make it happen so that both Tonys were on the same show. And it's happening now. It's podcast magic.
It should be fair that Tony's just doing a voice right now.
Okay, that's fair.
Antimatter and matter. The worlds are colliding. But that's
But that's not all. We keep going around the table. And Christina from Blue Peg Pink Peg is here.
Woohoo!
That was it.
Woo! Wait, wee-hee!
That was it. And going all the way around the table, we have Alicia from Man vs. Meeple.
Well,
and,
I mean,
and
Man
some-
versus Meeple adjacent.
and David.
Yeah, David's here.
Yeah, David.
I'm here too.
That's right, David Waybright from Man vs. Meeple.
Hello, everybody.
So we got 6 people sitting around this table. It is the last night of Gen Con. Woohoo!
Wee-hee!
That was Tony. I don't do this level of enthusiasm, just so you know.
No, you don't. So let's just do that. Let's just make this easy. Christina, we're going to start with you. Why don't
Okay.
you share one thing, one story, one anecdote, or one game of something that you're going to remember from this Gen Con? David's laughing, so you must know something.
I don't know what he's going to say.
This is a family show.
Yeah, it's a family situation.
No
It's
car
a
ride
PG,
stories.
maybe 13.
None.
Okay, so I was super excited. One of my top games I wanted to pick up was Mystery House. And I went over, and they were only selling a limited amount of copies. And I was like, yeah, I'll get in line. Went over, sold out. Missed my boat already.
So what is Mystery House? Because it looked cool.
Yeah, so Mystery House is essentially, I don't want to say it's an escape room game, but it's a cooperative game where the box.
So then don't say it's an escape room game.
I didn't. That
Okay.
was Tony, obviously, who said that.
Tony's like, why am I even here? The other Tony. We got to distinguish the two Tonys here because the grumpy Tony could also be sitting here with his
Tony T.
Okay, Tony T and Grumpy Tony.
And
Got
just
it. All
me.
right.
Okay, so it's a cooperative app-driven game where you the
Did you say
box
drinking game?
app-driven game.
That's all well.
And
With this crew.
the box is a house, and there are little slots where you put cards in, and you're essentially looking into the box to see your viewpoint. And based on your viewpoint that you look at, that's the things in the app that you choose, and it tells you that you found a key or it needs you to solve a riddle, and so you're working together, collect things. And then as you collect things, you pull the slots out of the box, and then it allows you to look more further into the room.
Am I on the show right now?
Oh my gosh.
Because I would like to point out that
This
you
is
guys
Chris
are
from the Secret Cabal, by
you
the
guys
way.
are having a show during our meetup.
Well, we're promoting your meetup.
I understand, but the meetup's happening right now. No one who's listening to the show is going to be able to be here.
But we want to tell people for in the future when they come to Gen Con how this is like the must-place beat. I can't even talk.
I know.
That's fair. Zero is the sad part. This is just me in general.
When you were talking about an editing nightmare, I was worried that was a little preemptive, but I see it now.
All right, well, I'll let you go. I was confused the fact that there was a podcast going on in the back of our meetup.
Again, it's to promote you. This is all about you, Chris.
Right. Well,
all about
thank you, Marty. I love you.
We love you
I
too,
love you
Chris.
All right.
Yeah.
All right. Well, Tony, continue talking to these other people.
So you pull the cards out.
What kind of card? I'm never going to leave.
You pull the cards out of the house, and then that allows you to have a further perspective into the house or the building. Oh my God!
We cannot, Christina cannot get through this as Isaac Childress now just walked into the room. Tell everybody hi, Isaac.
I forgot what game we were talking about.
Mystery House.
Hello, everyone. This is Isaac Childress coming to you from. I should get closer.
Yes, you need to get closer.
Okay. Hello, this is Isaac Childress coming to you from this. Or are we?
This
time
is the Rolling
traveling?
Dice and Taking Names podcast.
Because I heard
so you're
something
straight.
about this was being recorded on Wednesday.
No, it's Saturday. It's Saturday.
It's Saturday.
okay.
No, it's really
All right,
Saturday
yeah,
right
coming to
now.
you from the Secret Cabal meetup.
Yeah.
So I didn't get it because it sold out.
Right.
Yeah.
Wait. So what are we talking about here?
We're talking about Mystery House.
But it looked really cool.
It looks really cool, and the reason I was looking at it is because it is doing something in a game I've never seen before. So I was looking for that innovative thing, and it would be something fun for Harper to play.
So that's the game that I saw people picking up at the demo table, looking inside of it, and had
Yes.
all the holes and everything.
Yeah, it's.
Oh, I thought maybe there was an animal in there. It was making sure the air holes weren't being plugged and it was still alive.
No, it's definitely a game.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Okay, Marty, we'll never get around if you keep interjecting.
All right,
with
I'm
people.
sorry.
Just let them talk
All right,
and then we'll move
Tony
on.
T, what experience or game or something can you share?
It's always talking to people that's the best part about Gen Con.
Yes.
He went serious.
Is it serious?
No,
I'm kidding, Tony.
He's Tony. That's what
I
he
liked.
does.
I got
We
to
need some
talk
final
to
thoughts.
Stefan Feld for a little bit. That was cool. I got to talk to David Thompson. Hopefully I'm saying that right. The designer of War Chest. That was cool. He has
And
a new
Undaunted
game.
Normandy.
Yeah, he has a new game, Undaunted Normandy, which I had an interesting conversation about him about that. He actually said that he was designing Undaunted Normandy before he designed War Chest, and War Chest is actually derivative of that game because he wanted something that was more deterministic. So Undaunted has a lot of like dice rolling, from what I understand, and there's a little bit of like swing from the randomness, but War Chest is very deterministic, very like what you play is what happens. So it's cool to talk to him. It's just awesome to see people. I've been here so many times now where it's like you just start to know people.
Yeah.
And you can come to a con and just be like, oh, hey, and there's all these people you know, and that's just really cool.
We've always said it's kind of like summer camp for gamers.
For adult children.
Yes, yeah, and the way some people are acting tonight is crazy. All right, going around the table, Rob.
Speaking of adult children.
Okay, here we go.
I had probably one of the coolest gaming experiences that I've ever had ever. I got to go to lunch with Stefan Feld, which was maybe in the segment before or after us editing magic. But we got to go to lunch with him. We did expose Stefan to peanut butter and jelly wings.
Oh. Okay.
Yeah, no, that was a decision we made. We all made it. We're all adults. But yeah, so I got to have a beer with him. We talked about all kinds of things. I don't know. That was, Christina took a picture of us, and I'm sitting there. I look like I'm giddy as a schoolgirl.
So Rob, before we did this, was like, I'm so excited. I'm going to have lunch with my favorite board game designer. Isaac, how do you feel about that?
I'm comfortable with it.
To be fair, we did talk about Isaac. I was like, and Isaac might have had a problem with this, but he was like, "No, that's okay." He was the sweetest guy ever. And I was, I don't know. At one point we walked away and he gave us all hugs, and that was probably the pinnacle of my Gen Con experience, was having peanut butter and jelly wings. And he ordered a Samuel Adams. I'm like, "Oh, let's get anything." He's like, "I like Samuel Adams." That was by far one of the coolest experiences I ever had.
I'm kind of hurt. I would thought this would have been the coolest experience you ever had.
No, there's levels.
Right under it. Right under it.
There's levels. With Isaac, now I love Isaac, but whenever I play a game with Isaac, he kicks my buttocks in games, and it makes me feel horrible, right?
Well, did you get to play a game with Stefan Feld?
I did not, but I didn't want to take our relationship to that level yet.
All right, I'm pretty sure he would kick your butt too.
Yeah, probably. Let's be honest. I'm not good at board games, but it was great.
It was great.
Right. No, you can't see it right now, but there's a tear just running down my cheek from just the feelings I had from it. So that was probably by far, at this point, it's still Saturday night. Things could happen. Things could get crazy. But as of right now, that was the best experience I had at Gen Con.
That sounds like a challenge.
Oh my God.
Gotcha,
Wow. David Waybright. I'm sorry, Tony, go ahead.
Before Mr. Waybright, so let me understand this. You said that was by far your best. So where would the RDTM meet up after? Isaac, did you eliminate him in Strike or?
Oh no, we were at the same table, but we were on different sides of it. So yeah, we never actually fought each other. Danny is the one who eliminated me from the tournament.
And at the end of the day, Christina represented our table. Christina, how did you do in the semifinals?
Poorly.
That's sad.
That's very poorly.
Yeah, she lost.
I lost.
Danny was supposed to play, and you lost.
I did.
Can we talk? Let's talk about that
But the
meetup a little bit.
gladiators in the arena won the whole thing.
Woo! Hooty-hoo! Let's talk about the. You guys put on a terrific. If you in the future Gen Cons, you want to get a ticket to the spaghetti event. I was sitting at the table with Isaac, and he had the entire time sitting in his lap one of the races, the factions that you will see in Gloomhaven, sitting in his lap, staring at me the entire time as I was eating spaghetti. It was awful unnerving.
That is unnerving. What is that thing?
It's a Vermling Mind Thief. It's the cutest, cuddliest creature in the Gloomhaven universe.
By cutest and cuddliest, that not at all.
All right, my turn? Is it my turn?
I don't know. I could talk about the spaghetti dinner some more, but yeah, if you got a thing, David, go ahead, jump in.
So, I won't go on too long, but I've been to
here we go.
a number of Gen Cons. I've seen a lot of big things. We saw Keyforge last year. It was kind of a cool event. We all walked away with it. We saw some new games this year that were pretty exciting from FFG again. There's a lot of big things that happened at Gen Con. My favorite thing of all time, though, not just this Gen Con, but of all time, was when we went to lunch with Travis from Queen and convinced Rob that it was Stefan Feld that we were eating with.
Wait, what?
Yeah, I didn't want to break it to him, but I thought this moment, after that heartfelt pouring, it was the best time.
Did I mention I cried?
The worst thing is that Travis eats peanut butter and jelly wings every day.
All right, Isaac's now my favorite again. Oh, God.
No, I can hardly follow that, but I would, having lunch with Stefan Feld, I have to say the same thing. I was there too.
It was an amazing, amazing time. Stefan Feld, I don't know that I'd say I'm as big a fan as Rob, but I am probably maybe the second, third biggest fan I know.
So hold on, let me go get Stefan Feld because he's here right now, and we can just say that you're really not a big fan of his.
No, I'm a huge fan of Stefan Feld.
okay.
And he knows, and I'll just say this, we just said it over and over, he is the sweetest guy. We meet a lot of designers, and they're all pretty nice. I mean, Isaac excluded.
Yeah, Isaac's great.
He still has a full-time job, you know.
I know. He's a principal at a high school.
He's a high school principal.
Amazing.
And if you've been listening to the episode, you just heard that in our previous segment. So we can say it again. That's fine.
Right, exactly. We found out first, Marty, okay? We found out first.
Oh, that was definitely pointed out multiple times.
I want to say about that, one of the things he said, and he might have said it in the last segment, was that he wants to keep it out of his school. Imagine going to school and your principal was Stefan Feld. Like, that is amazing just to
You're
think
such a
about
dork, man.
I am a dork. I don't own it, but yeah, I lost my mind. He's like, yeah, I don't tell my kids that. I'm like, what? How is that not a thing?
Yeah, I mean, it was amazing. So I'm gonna pass it over to Isaac.
All right.
I'm sure it's gonna be about Gloomhaven.
Yeah, I don't know if anybody's heard, but this game Gloomhaven.
I never heard of it.
Yeah, you should.
#1 game in the world.
Oh, and then what? It almost broke Steam and everything else that's happening with it. So congratulations. on
Broke
your
Steam.
Oh, thank you.
Oh, you mean it was #1 on Steam?
Yeah,
Yeah.
#1.
Yeah,
Congrats.
yeah. So we're doing like best moments, that sort of thing. I mean, I don't want to like tease people too much, but like I think the best thing for me about Gen Con is like some of the meetings I've had over the past few days. Like
Go on.
so I can't get into specifics, so that's the problem. But
Nobody
it's just,
listens to this show anyway, Isaac. Go ahead and say it.
But there's a lot of exciting things, sort of in preliminary talks at the moment. I think like the next year or two for Cephalofair games and Gloomhaven are going to be pretty exciting. I'm excited about it.
Well, we're excited that you're excited, but how is the Gloomhaven sales going?
That's kind of personal.
Well, I mean,
Gloomhaven sales
it's
are
still
great.
continuing. I mean, it's been out for a
Oh
while.
yeah. I mean, it continues to sell. Obviously,
I mean, we saw a couple of them set up, or I did, at the hotel lobby where we're staying at the Hyatt Regency.
Oh, nice.
So that, I mean, they were breaking it out. I'm like, you go, guys.
Yeah, I mean, we've finally caught up with this huge demand that we had. So now we're finally able to keep it in stock in stores, which is nice because people aren't angry at us anymore.
Brag.
Oh, I will say though that there is an announcement about a future expansion that's Q4 this year. We're going to be making a big announcement. So,
tease.
That's what I can say at the moment.
So you're making the announcement in Q4.
Yes.
Oh my God, I can't take it anymore.
All right, people keep coming to the room, so let's hear some more stories. Jamie, who is hosting this magnificent event.
Is this Jamie or drunk Jamie?
This is both of them. Who do I got with me here?
What's one event from this show or a game or something that? Here you just go.
Yeah, Marty, give me that mic. All right, my favorite thing about this show. So I'm going to talk about our own meetup here. My favorite thing that happened at this meetup, at Secret Cabal meetup, was that Steve just did a comedy set, and the first 5 minutes of it, he bombed so bad he got no laughs. I was the only one laughing. I was loving it. It was the greatest thing that ever happened.
Is it on tape or video?
Tape. Come on, Marty. Yes, we had a VHS camcorder out here. How old are you, Marty? Like 62, 72 years old?
Are you done?
Are you want me to
Can
be
we
done?
talk about how
sorry.
old Marty is some more? That's awesome.
That's all right. We have a phonograph that we etch in our podcast on, and we send it out individually to each one of our listeners.
It's on a wax cylinder.
All right, that's it. I got to go out here and get another beer.
All right. And also just walked in Stephen Bonacore from Stronghold Games.
So listen here. So I've been sitting out there the whole time, and I see you guys behind this glass enclosed place. No one has asked me to come in. I know there's much more important people in this place, like Isaac Childers is here, Stefan Feld is here.
Rob Rouse is here.
I only publish their games. We didn't. I'm out of here.
Well, no. We didn't want you. Hey, we didn't want you to have to compete with all of this. We wanted to bring you in separately.
I don't know. Who are you?
Exactly. I'm the other
You're
guy.
the other guy.
I'm the other guy.
No, I love all of you. But I saw Christina in here. It was funny. I was like, I hadn't seen you yet.
Yeah, I
So
know.
she's like, where were you the whole time? I didn't even see you. I guess you were in here in the shadows.
They
and I'm
keep
like,
me hidden from you. They keep us apart.
that's the thing. They keep us apart. So I'm like,
That seems legit. That seems okay.
And I'm coming in to see Christina. F you all.
Hey.
Notice I did not curse. It's the Dice
Real
Tower
quick,
Network. I did not curse.
How are things going at the booth at
No,
the show?
okay, yeah. I'm not trying to promote.
Oh gosh, you're going to put him.
No,
no.
promoting. I've had a completely full booth the entire time. It's been wonderful.
Congrats.
Just out of
Everything's
curiosity,
okay.
what was your big hot game? Just out of curiosity.
No,
So people-
I'm not promoting.
No, please say. What was your big hot game?
All right,
This is
you
about
says
Gen
no, I'll
Con.
go 20 minutes. Okay, no.
You want to sit down?
Yes, everyone.
On Tony's lap.
I'm gonna sit on
By the way,
Tony's lap.
Mr. Bonacore just sat on Tony T's lap,
Yes,
not Tony.
yes, I have. And something is so very quickly. So the two new rolling rights. All right, they're getting more people in
Yes.
here. I'm going to be leaving very soon. It's getting very warm here, especially sitting next to Christina. Anyway, the two new rolling rights, of course, are very hot. The Dizzle, which comes out next week, and Encore, which is Nachmal in Germany. This doesn't come out for a month and a half, which is very hot. And Amul is selling amazing. We had to fly some copies over because they literally got printed last week.
Nice.
And that's our card drafting game, 3 to 8 players, gorgeous artwork. I'm not here to promote. Thank you all.
Thank you,
I love
Stephen.
you guys. I really do.
Thank
so take
you.
Care.
Another great show.
We love you the most.
Yep.
Another person just walked into the
I would
room.
like to
Rodney
say-
Smith.
No.
Rodney, it's easy.
Hold on.
What's happened? I was at a Cabal meetup, but now I'm in a podcast.
I know, and
What's going on?
I am taking your seat
I'm so
because
confused.
this crowd has hijacked one of the hosts of the Zinger Cabal who needs to go out and speak with their fans. Get your butt out of the seat, Tony, and get out there.
To be fair, they set up in the bathroom, so I don't know why we're all here.
I really just wanted to use
Yeah,
the
why are we all in the same bathroom?
So, Rodney, share one thing about this show that you've really enjoyed, game or event
Gen
or
Con, not
something.
rolling dice and taking names. I want to be specific.
I assume you've already talked about Medium.
Ooh, let's talk
let's
about
talk
video.
about it. Let's
was
talk about
teased
it.
on Wednesday night. Sit down, Tony, because now you played it.
What is going on? Okay.
Tell us. Okay, we've already gone and talked about what Medium is, but
Yes.
what do you want to share about Medium?
Well, look, Medium is that game, I think, similar to The Mind,
Yep.
which does one thing that's really, really special. We love having success in a game, right? When you're winning,
Of course,
of
yes.
course, you feel good, right?
Unless you're playing Isaac Childress.
Yeah.
Okay.
But like The Mind, Medium, even when you fail, it's fun and it's funny. And so many times you're like, oh, we screwed up, but that was such a good suggestion. Why did I think of that?
I don't know what group you're playing with,
Yes.
but when I play with it, you're like, you're the weakest link.
That's because it's true.
That's a fact.
It is? Oh, well, that's disappointing. Really,
well,
Rob.
now I want to play the Mind. The Minds. I'm
See,
sorry,
what
the
did I
Medium
do?
with Rodney because he seems uplifting and possibly a good partner.
All right, well, then you should show up at the
Here's the best
BGG Hot
part.
Room in time.
You also need to play it with Tony.
Oh my gosh.
Because Tony.
This is Tony M. Tony T has left the room, so
Yeah.
all Tonys from now on will be Grumpy Tony. And speaking of Grumpy Tony, what are your thoughts on Medium?
I'm not stepping on this landmine. I am not throwing myself on this hand grenade.
Let's do it. I want to hear what you think of Medium.
Okay, so from my standpoint, Medium, it's a fun game at certain times, but I found it to just be a game. I'm sorry. I mean,
Yep,
it's not.
that's what it is.
Yes. No.
That's a correct definition.
It's
Yes.
just a game. It's not
That's
one
what
of
this
those
hobby
games
is,
that-
playing a
it's
lot of
not- I know,
games.
but I'm not going to go play.
Oh, but we had so much fun playing with you, Tony.
But at 1 a.m. the other night, Joel was like, oh, we're playing Medium. And like at 1 a.m., we're all sitting on the bed in our room playing Medium. And you enjoyed it, I thought.
You were smiling. Your
I'm-
face,
yeah.
your lips were going in an upward direction. It seemed like happiness.
Wait a minute, does that happen with your face?
No, it's very seldom. Very seldom. Maybe that's because No, I got to be nice. I got to be medium. It was one of the hottest sellers here at Gen Con, and I've been giving it a lot of crap just to try to promote that grumpiness. See if I can stir people up on that. How can you hate this? I mean, what are you talking about? I don't hate it. It is a fun game. It's going to be a hot game. I'm going to recommend it to friends who enjoy playing these types of games.
That was a very exciting endorsement.
That should be on the box.
I think they have the new box copy.
You want me to get the RDTN logo next to that one?
It really captured the excitement at the table, I think, of Medium.
This game is really fun for other people. Tony McCree.
Y'all give me as much crap as you want. I'm fine with that.
On Wednesday night, Joel and I said we thought Medium was possibly could be the sleeper hit or the game of the con. Were we close?
I think so. Absolutely.
Yeah, right. It sold out like in a day.
I think they sold out Friday afternoon. They were done.
We've played it every night.
Yeah.
Right. Well, because we like fun.
Yeah.
Yeah, we like fun, Tony.
I'll let the silence speak for itself.
Oh man! No, but the game is great. I mean, you can we played it just minutes ago. As we're waiting for our dinner to get there, we go around the table. Everybody's laughing, hooting, hollering. The game is great.
It's so funny. Last night we were playing Rodney, Tony, Joel, and maybe somebody else at the table, and Dave. Yeah, our good friend Dave. We were playing, and Rodney and I had 2 words. It was the funniest thing. It was like movie and right. And we both looked at each other.
W-R-I-T-E?
Yeah, W-R-I-T-E.
Oh, easy. We got it.
Yeah.
You guys do it.
All right, David, we got it. Ready?
Movie and right?
And
Yeah.
right,
And
yeah.
Yeah, ready? 3, 2, 1.
Screenplay.
Oh my God!
That's exactly what happened.
That's exactly what happened. Oh! I said screenplay and Rodney said script, and then y'all two just did it.
Yeah.
And we looked at each other like, you're right, script. I think
yeah, but here's the thing: as we're saying it, we're high fiving. It's screenplay script. What?
Even retelling the game is fun.
Yeah, I'm laughing a mile an hour.
Oh my gosh. That's funny. I would have to agree. Medium. I mean, it's probably the early pick for game of the show. Yeah, across all categories.
The thing is, though, I looked at the Geek Buzz list, and Ron, you probably saw the latest one. Medium really wasn't that high.
I didn't see it. Where is it? Is it on there?
Last I saw it this morning, it was like 20-something.
Oh,
30.
That's because they're too busy playing it and not voting for it.
Right. I mean, I think Medium is this year's just one.
Yeah, exactly.
From
Absolutely.
last year. It's or I guess it really is maybe the mind from last year.
It's the perfect con game because you can teach it quickly. It's portable. You just get it out and you play it, right? Like Black Angel is really cool, but you're not going to just get that down to the table and just start playing it right away, right?
No one's playing Black Angel over apps.
Tony is like,
Tony is going into
the
a
look
coma.
on his face right now. He is like, this is like the worst thing I've ever sat in my entire life.
I think he's still thinking of screenplay and script right now. Actually.
Okay, Tony, what game did you like from the show? What was your game of the show?
Well, it was my game of the show?
Yeah.
Well, I've been playing Medium so much, I haven't had a chance to play any other game.
We've won them over.
Oh, well, guys and ladies. Gals, I'm so sorry. I just had to look over my right over here. This has been an amazing, amazing Gen Con. This is the best part of any convention is sitting around with your friends. And whether it's, us as friends or anybody else that's listening and they got their friends, and we've already ran off Tony. He's just leaving the room.
Bye, Tony.
Bye, Tony.
Bye, Tony.
He said, should I keep on talking?
I mean, seriously, you have to understand he literally left the room.
Legit just left the room.
Oh, he's back.
He's back. I think he went to get potentially another guest. It was Chaz, and Chaz just shrugged him off. Yeah, okay.
Because I think you were saying something about friends.
No, I gave him a word. He gave a word. We didn't match. He didn't come in. That's all there was to it.
Was it screenplay and script?
No, you and I, we did this one, and it was a safe and vault. No, that's not the same word. What do you mean? I know it's not the same word. It's the same. Oh.
You're just saying a lot of words right now. I'm very confused.
You stay confused. So, do you remember us playing?
Yes.
You said safe. I said vault.
Yes.
And Joel said that's not the same. And I'm like,
it is not the same. We played this game. If
one of the
safe and vault were said, would y'all rule that that's the same?
I would say it's the same.
feel like this is really indicative of your relationship. Like, this is more saying about you guys.
Chaz is here. I'm gone.
Chaz Marler from Pair of Dice Paradise just sat in. Chaz, it's been a whirlwind in here.
It smells like
It's been a lot.
Thanks, Christina.
Whoa!
I wasn't going to say anything. But so, in this Gen Con, Chaz, what has stuck out to you? Something very memorable, a game, an event, anything that you want to share, anything like that?
It was one of the most amazing experiences I've ever had at a convention. So it was like kind of Twilight, okay? And I left the convention.
Is this going to make me cry?
I hope so.
Okay.
That's my goal. So I left the convention center, and I went to this group of friends, and back in the back, there was this kind of exclusive area, and I got invited back to come and share my thoughts about what my greatest experience at the convention had been.
So wait,
Who are you sitting next to?
before Marty,
I was sitting next to this gentleman that I've grown to know a little bit through some Facebook posts, and
Tell me more.
he was this handsome gentleman.
Oh, go on.
Is it me? I don't know. Is it me? Are you talking about me? I just want to make sure.
Actually, that and I was shocked yesterday afternoon walking through the hall next to the AEG booth, and there is Edge of Darkness. The game that Mystic Vale was actually a part of. So this game has been in development since before Mystic Vale came out. And I've been waiting for a few years, and somehow it fell through the cracks, and I didn't even know it was going to be here. And there it is. I walk by. Oh my gosh, Edge of Darkness. It's really big. And now I own a copy of it. So,
by the way, the show has been retitled The Long and Winding Road based on this interview.
Because whenever Chaz is on, it has to be a Beatles song.
Beatles song.
Beatles song. That sounds amazing. So I can't wait to hear what you think about the game. It looks really cool. And we got to see AEG's new Kickstarter that's going to be coming out. It's done by the same designer, John D. Clare, and it was called Dead Reckoning.
Dead Reckoning.
Now you guys and gals were really excited about it. So give us just a little snip, because if you're really into that style of game, Edge of Darkness and Mystic Vale.
So this is David. I like Mystic Vale. I liked Edge of Darkness more. I really loved what I played of Dead Reckoning. Dead Reckoning had a theme that you could sort of sink your teeth into. The other ones are a little abstracted. This one, you're pirates. You're actually moving your pirate ships out to islands, discovering islands, taking control of the islands, getting cards for your deck from those islands, fighting each other's pirate ships. A lot of tangible stuff. Plus, of course, like Edge of Darkness, had another cool, like, cube towery sort of thing with the cubes dribbling down.
You're also leveling the cards in your deck, which was amazing. And David's already said this, but as you're moving around the board, you're exploring the board, you're opening up better cards to upgrade your deck. I mean, this game, when we were breaking it down, and he was explaining the rules, I was like, this was really cool. And then I started getting goosebumps. So this game is amazing. And then he talked about all the stuff that he was going to throw into the Kickstarter, like saga things, where as you play the game, they're going to be putting cards in the deck, and you don't know what they are, but there's cards going to be put in the deck, and they kind of reveal maybe a narrative. I got super excited about this game.
What was it called?
Dead Reckoning. It's like the next step for John D. Clare. Amazing. I cannot wait to see it when it drops on Kickstarter.
Oh, that sounds great. Now Edge of Darkness sounds like garbage.
No, I'm sure it's fine, but this is like, I don't know. I got excited. I was like, I want to back this now. We're still working on it. I'll buy it right now.
We also just had to walk into the room. We don't try to wrap this up. We got a new guest in here, but this is exciting. The designer of Keyforge himself, Brad from FFG, is in here. Brad, welcome.
Hey guys. Well, it's Richard's game, really. I'm the lead developer.
No, but we're giving you credit now, Brad, because Richard's not here. So at this point in time, you did Keyforge.
How's it going, guys?
It is going really good. Have you had a good show?
Oh, it's been wonderful so far. The Vault Tours have been going great. I've been having a blast. Did some commentary on the stream today. It was so much fun. We even have a Keyforge vending machine in the event hall.
I saw that. I was very disappointed.
What's that?
I legit thought it was like snacks. I was a little disappointed.
No, it's Keyforge right in the vending machine, right in the hall. We've been refilling it time and time again. Come over to the FFG booth. It's wonderful. Give it a shot.
I ate 3 of them before I figured out what it was.
Come on. They taste delicious, but I mean.
And you announced 2 brand new factions are going to be coming
We
out.
did. House Saurian and Star Alliance are coming out. They'll be out this November in Worlds Collide, the 3rd set of Keyforge.
And I gotta say, the art looks amazing. And like I was looking at which one is the dinosaur faction? What was
Saurians? The Saurians, yeah.
Yeah, that looks amazing. Like I was like going through the cards and I was like, oh my god, I want to play this right now.
Our art department did a wonderful job. I'm so excited by what they did. They really found a great way to merge the Greco-Roman themes with the dinosaurs and make it not look crazy. Well, I mean, crazy awesome.
Indeed.
Oh wow! So is that it? Is there nobody else coming? Oh yeah, but when is that coming? When's the new ones coming out?
Coming out in November.
November. So make sure to keep an eye on that if you want to keep continuing to buy Keyforge, and you should, because 1.1 million decks have been registered
and growing every day.
Crazy. That's, let's see, 1.1 times, was it $10 per deck?
And let's be clear, that is just the ones that have been registered. Like, I wonder what the percentage of those that haven't been registered are.
That's true.
Well, that's a secret.
That's we can't divulge that. Well, I think that's the last person coming through the door, so we are going to start.
If you want, I can keep grabbing some people. I see some people out there. It's whatever you want, dude.
We've
lost control. It's out of control.
We've had every Kabbalist in here except one, and he's standing right outside. Why don't you grab him and we'll wrap this thing up. That one last Kabbalist is Steve himself. Steve! Woo! We're wrapping up our Gen Con coverage of our special Gen Con episode from Gen Con.
Oh my gosh, and you saved the best for last.
Yes, I did.
Thank you.
Steve, what we've been doing is sharing anecdotes or a game or something that you loved about this Gen Con. What's the most memorable thing to you? Game, event. It could be this. It might be Christina.
It could be your stand-up. Whatever you want to talk about.
I gotta tell you, that rolling dice and taking names meetup was pretty memorable, Marty.
You ain't got to suck up, Steve. You can just go
good. Thank you. In that case, let me give you my real answer.
Thank you.
So, really, the whole spectacle today is just blew my mind. This is so big. It's the biggest convention in North America, the world, galaxy. I don't know. How high up does it go?
Steve, this is your first one.
Universe.
This is your first Gen Con, right?
It is.
So did it live up to your expectations?
It did. And I'm happy there weren't border guards to keep me out, because I don't think I'm allowed in Indiana, but don't tell anybody. But no, it was an amazing convention. Amazing convention. There's so many people. It's crazy. Right, I'm trying to go to the dealer hall, and so I play a game of how slow can I shuffle, because that's the top speed I got was a shuffle.
That and dodge people's big backpacks when they swing around.
Good Lord, that's a good one, yes. Yeah, I almost got taken out a few times. Luckily, I'm very tall and powerful, well built, so I was not really fearing any backpacks, but...
You know this is a podcast, not a dating app, right?
Well, swipe right anyway.
Done and done.
All right, everyone, we're going to wrap this up. Thank you, everybody who has been listening. It has been... oh, and by the way, if you're wondering what happened to Friday night's event, and we're supposed to have a recording on Friday night, it kind of didn't happen. So...
whoa, I'm going to... squeeze in here. The reason why it didn't happen is that we were ready to go Friday night, and somebody, I'm so tired,
Wait, who was that?
That was Marty, right?
It was Marty.
Well, that was because we spent the past hour playing Medium.
Once again, never mind, not going to go there.
All right, so we got a lot of people in this room. Let's see if we can close it out right. Get everybody to say this at the same time. Tony, you lead them. If you could pull this off.
Would you like to explain what they have to say after I say something, or they just want to say something in general?
So wait a minute. I'm really good at this. I remember being on your show one time.
Yes, I'm going to say the first 2 words in this podcast name, and then all of you are supposed to join in with the last 2. Okay?
Well, it's actually last 3.
Yeah, it's the last 3. So, does anybody need to be reminded of the name of the show?
Blue peg, pink peg.
Secret Cabal. Oh, okay.
Oh, yeah.
Actually, you know, that's fair. Everybody go around and tell where people can find you.
All right, you can find me on...
It's a secret.
Tinder. And the Secret Cabal Gaming Podcast.
That was Steve, Christina.
Blue peg, pink peg on Facebook, Twitter, and the internet, I guess.
Man versus Meeple on all the social medias.
Pair of dice paradise.
Notice I succinctly said that, Tony, because we just go paradise, paradise.
Yeah, I know you do.
Still one of my favorite. Is it Paradise Paradise or Paradise Paradise? I have no clue. So, and here we go. For everybody out there, just keep rolling dice
and taking names. Secret Cabal, Blue Pig, Pink Pig.
This was a beast of a show to edit, but we hope you really enjoyed it. If so, make sure to share it with your friends. Make sure to follow us on Twitter at Dyson Names, Instagram Dyson Names, like us on Facebook, and join our BGG Guild 1589. 3, 2, 1,
Screenplay.
I said it wrong. Let me try it again.
That's the one. And this game is good. Why?
One of the biggest games of Gen Con is Empires of the North from Portal Games, and it is available right now. You need to go check that out, as we talked about that game in our last episode. It is a totally different game than Imperial Settlers. It is not an Imperial Settlers replacement. It is a brand new game on its own, and we really enjoy it. Totally different mechanics, very easy to set up, and Ignacio's already announced brand new expansions for it. There's 6 factions in the box, and there's 2 more expansions coming. This game is going to have a lot of legs, so you need to go get that core set now. And while you're out there, go ahead and throw in the new Academics from Monolith Arena, as it's a very fun faction to play in that game. Go find out more at portalgamesus.com.